okay. I said I don't like change, but I'm not afraid. I can't keep it together ever anyway. When every page is in disarray, I think we'll be okay that way, that way.
Sleeps chemically, brought down on its knees. With every breath that I breathe, clenched fists and gritting teeth. Tonight the energy flowing in me is waiting for release. Thunder beneath my feet, a sight you won't believe. Until the dawn, the darkness falls, and I lose control. I feel it in my bones. A spark to lead us through the shadows. But can I fight the way before me? It's coursing through my soul. A road to guide us through the sorrow. Can I calm this storm inside me? I feel it in my bones. A spark to lead us through the shadows. Can I fight the way before me? It's coursing through my soul. A road to guide us through the sorrow. Can I calm this storm inside me?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Otter League IBS. We weren't actually expecting to have some stream today because we were expecting finals to be moved to Monday, but we've got ourselves the consolation match, 3rd and 4th place, going up for the bronze position in the Blue Otter League IBS division. My name is Dory K, and joining me is CB Excel, actually, for the first time on the desk this season. How's it going, Excel?
It's going good. Glad to be here. We almost didn't have the stream, but I'm glad we are. They are moving through draft super fast, but I mean that's to be expected. I think they've been scrimming all split long anyways, so that makes sense. Oh, I don't even think we introduced the teams.
No, yeah, we've got ourselves Rev Armada taking the blue side in game 1 versus SG Charm. I think SG Charm actually chose red side, if I remember correctly, because I'm pretty sure SG Charm was the higher seed come at the end of the season. I don't actually know if they figured out how to decide that, but I digress.
Well, SG Charm had the bye, so I assume that's.
Oh right, SG Charm had a bye, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
to me.
we've got B1 Senna locked in, followed by Braum Akshan for red, and then Gwen and Talia. So they're moving. And
Yeah,
now
they're moving
Silas. Holy.
Yeah, the instant Silas for Dino, he did have. It is Dino that got the Silas, right?
I mean, it's just third pick. I assume it's
Okay.
Dino. If not, it's I don't think Wingman plays it. So, or Puffin. I guess Puffin could play it, but they picked Akshan, so I don't think he's gonna play it.
Ooh, Puffin getting the Akshan. That's pretty spicy. I am excited to see what these teams can break out, especially considering there's not a whole lot on the line. It's not like there's a prize pool for it. This is definitely all just for fun, but we're excited to see what
No.
comes
There's
of it.
bragging rights. They got to figure out which team won out from the scrim partners battle royale off season.
I guess they're bragging rights, huh?
Right. I mean, they moved through bans really fast. The last 4 were Draven, Zinzao for SG Charm, and then Heimerdinger and Cassio. They've locked in Cassidin for SG Charm, so we're looking at Braum, Akshan, Silas, and Cassidin. And then Rev has Senna, Gwen, Talia, and Pantheon. So
Sure.
some spicy comps coming out here.
Yeah. So what do we think? What do we think the win conditions that they're building towards are looking like for this? What do these compositions want to do?
Tough to say. I think Rev is playing more towards the traditional style of we scale up. We have our Gwen split pushing. We've got Pantheon for burst, and then Tom Kinch sent out for backline safety and consistent damage. And for SG Charm, I have no idea. They've got Braum, Akshan, Silas, Cassin, and Urga.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with just throwing shit at the wall and seeing if it works, especially since a patch did drop yesterday. It sure made BOL Gold semifinals pretty interesting, seeing a couple upsets actually come out. Well, I guess one upset. I guess you could call it an upset. I'm not going to go into BOL Gold lore here, because this is IBS. We're here to see 2 of the best teams in the IBS division go at it, but honestly, I'm a little weary of what to expect, because the comps kind of went all over the place.
So we've got, what I'm guessing is Urgot, Silas, Cassidin, Akshan, Braum for SG Charm as their lineup. And then what we've got as Gwen, either Talia or Pantheon jungle, and then either Talia or Gwen mid, and then Senna Tom Pinch bot. So a little bit more traditional, a little bit of a flex there with the Talia and the Pantheon, into some questionable stuff on the SG side. I don't really know how it's gonna go, to be honest with you. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure Senna is good into Urgot, if I remember correctly. Is that not the case? I mean, Gwen. Gwen is good into Urgot, no?
Gwen does do a good job of shredding through HP stackers, especially ones that she's able to deal with her W. At the same time, I do think Urgot has poke potential, and it sounds like the in-client draft got a little bit scuffed, so we're going to have a reset there. But I mean, I don't know. I think that the matchup is Gwen favored, and I think Gwen is stronger than Urgot. But at the same time, I definitely think there is outplay potential for both sides of the matchup, and I'm looking to see a lot of jungle influence make the difference here.
Right. Talia is an early aggressive jungler. From what I remember, same with Pantheon. I guess he can farm to 6 and then look for impact, but point-and-click CC makes it a little bit easier for him to gank than like Silas, who's kind of just running at you and you can kind of dodge. So I guess SG Charm is looking a little bit more towards the scaling aspect with the Kassadin, but Rev has Senna to kind of try to match that. All I know is that early game is going to be interesting and late game is going to be interesting. Mid game might be a little bit sleeper. I don't really know what the win conditions for either team is, to be honest. Maybe dragon stacking and like.
Well, as soon as I get out of
picks.
as soon as I get back from definitely not spending this entire time completing cooking dinner, I will be able to also give my thoughts a little bit in more detail.
That's why you're the coach and I'm the player. My job's not to think; it's to right click.
I don't think. But
the only thing interesting about this draft that I've seen
did they
is,
really just break the draft again? Is Mine having like client problems still? Mine was having client problems and audio problems leading up to the draft, so it's entirely possible that that's the problem here.
It looks like this time was Tonka.
Oh, Tonka's having issues this time?
Yeah, I think he got booted. Like, I don't think it let him lock in. Also, the Silas is Tonka's Silas, not Dino's.
Ooh, Tonka
Dino
got
was
the
playing
Silas.
Leo. Yeah, sorry. I got confused. Both these teams scary, so
Yeah, I think,
I try not to think about them.
I do.
Any team that can beat me doesn't exist in my mind.
You don't.
Except Rev. Rev got hands.
Wait, Rev got hands. Rev did make it difficult. They definitely have had a bit of a positive upswing as the end of the season has gone on. They started off kind of like in the middle, in that like middle of the pack, like back and forth that a lot of teams were having, trying to figure out who was going to have an advantage in some of these mid-season games. But Rev really started to step it up, taking an upset off you guys famously, and taking game 1 off of you guys in your semifinal match last night.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you remember like the preseason lore, but like these two teams were the teams that were expected to be like first and second coming in. They're like super powerhouses. I mean, you've got like Madness, you've got Puffin, Declo, Dean was like super high up there. Wingman is good. So a lot of like, I guess, known names in IBS and now I guess IBSG scene. So they were expected to be, you know, the favorites. These are the two teams that were like the top of the standings, and then it was like us and TD, and then kind of everyone else shuffled around after that. So definitely an interesting matchup, and also they have been scrimming each other since before the season started. So if anyone knows, I guess, the kind of picks to expect from the other team, it's each other. So I don't think there'll be any like super big curveballs that anyone's gonna like bust out. But I am super excited to see kind of what those scrims were like, because, you know, obviously you can't really spectate scrims. I guess you can if you're around, but not as likely. So I'm kind of interested to see what things are like behind the scenes for them.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It actually is turning out to be a third, fourth place match and a finals match of scrim partners, because CB and TD famously were scrimming pretty often throughout the regular season as well. So
we played them 3 times in a week and a half. we scrimmed them twice, and then the following Monday is when we played them. So it's just like back to back to back, just us and TD.
Yeah. So we've had a couple delays here, a couple times that the draft has had to break down. So we're gonna go ahead and head over to an early spectator delay. Don't forget, everybody, use !CoachifyGG in the chat to get a link directly to Blue Water League's sponsor for season 10. CoachifyGG is a coaching resource that you can use to get commission-free coaching from verified coaches at the absolute highest peak of the game. Don't forget, use Blue Water League's !CoachifyGG to get it. And stay tuned, because we're going to be here starting in game number 1 real soon.
break my rules for you. Took down my wall. Too, I break my rules for you. I break my rules for you. Took down my walls. Too, I break my rules for you. It's hard to get used to. I can't do it like you do. It's a constant test to break through, and it's all like brand new.
And we're back, Blue Otter League. Welcome to Game 1 of the third place match of the IBS division. I'm Dory K yet again, and Excel is joining me on the caster desk. That's a Rev Wingman Pantheon mid I see there, Excel.
That's a Madness Gwen ADC, Dory.
Everything is just crazy. We didn't get too much of a chance to talk about the draft early on because I was a little too busy finishing up cooking my wonderful girlfriend during the draft. But now that I've seen what we've got on the plate, I think SG, jokes aside, does have late game Exodia in the form of Kassadin. There's really not a lot you can do about a Kassadin in this composition. You can play for the peel, but Kassadin can pick somebody and just delete them here in this composition. They don't have a ton of disengage that's reliable.
Hard CC left,
so-
maybe.
Yeah, like CC chain off of like Pantheon W would definitely be the best bet here. And Dino may be able to actually abuse Kassadin for that, but famously, Riftwalk is a blink, not a dash, so Riftwalk ignores Talia Workground. Or
Ooh.
Minefield? I forget what it's called. Workground is the passive that comes from Q.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This is some interesting comps. Pantheon does have, like, I guess, prio into Kassadin early, so maybe they just look to snowball one of their side lanes super hard, where Kassadin becomes not as relevant until like super late game. Maybe that's their angle.
Yeah, they definitely have prio advantage on Pantheon. Like early game, he is able to absolutely stop this lane. I agree.
Yeah. Aside from that, I don't really know. I don't know about the Gwen Senna bot lane. I feel like it would have been better the other way around. With, Gwen top. But I don't know.
I'm wondering if it's concern about the Senna nerfs.
Me personally, I think Senna's still strong. Especially if you play her like farming now. I think they definitely did the go fasting Senna nerf that they have to do.
So we'll
I
see
don't
how
know.
Bachelor pilots it. I mean, Madness is often the carry for Rev, so I think it makes a lot of sense to put him on something that does have pop-off potential and a lot of a supporting cast around it. But I'm interested to see if the Gwen is that.
I mean, they banned out his Draven. They banned out. What else did they ban out? Let's take a look. Got rid of Ezreal, Draven. That's pretty much it for him. Vagar, I assume, is for Wingman. And
Yeah, and Puffin's actually going to go down. He's going to give first blood over to Wingman. Wingman going to get the Ignite to finish off the kill, and aside from the Ignite, neither of them burned Flash for this exchange.
Wingman should have
This
played
is the part
Pantheon
where
and
you talk.
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut, exactly. Yeah, honestly, Wingman is popping off on this Pantheon pick. Already, he's getting control of the lane, already has a 10 CS lead. It is a big counter into Puffin's Cassidy. Puffin does need to slow the game down a little bit because giving a first blood that early is pretty rough. Granted, TP is going to come out and it's going to let him stabilize the lane a little bit, but Pantheon's able to abuse this advantage. At least, hopefully he can kind of stave it off until 6 until he can ult back into lane or not lose a lot, because Cassidy does have the ability to slowly start to trade back until he crashes this wave.
I do see that Talia invaded. I don't know if I agree with that, not without Pantheon having had his reset, because he did get first blood. That's a lot of gold. Plus he has the CS lead. It looks like he's unpunished though. Oh. Alright.
Actually, it's going to go the other way around. They're going to go down. Pantheon going to be able to invade and take down Tonka's Sylas, and we're starting to see exactly why Sylas doesn't really jungle traditionally anymore.
It is 32 to 8 in CS. In jungle. Did they invade level 1?
I don't believe so.
Silas was only able to get 2 gaps. It's kind
Correct.
of insane. And Denobi dies. A little bit of a...
Granted, EX actually coming in, being a super sub here, and managing to get the kill onto General Denobi when he goes for a little bit of an ambitious dive here. I think we might have needed to remind these guys that this is not a scrim.
No, this is way more fun. How can you really brag if you didn't go all out?
That is true. That being said, Cassante made it all the way through this draft without being picked or banned.
Cassante got nerfed, remember? For like the 5th time.
Yeah, but how are you supposed to go all out if you don't play Cassante? As the gank comes into the bot lane, Madness going to get the flash to get away. Brittle going to come down, but it's not quite going to be enough. Ignite being taken off of the plate for Minami. But Dekla Minami really strong here. Akshan, even though he's kind of not seen as like a traditionally viable 5s pick, he does have spaces within the low elo meta because the champion just is so easy to abuse in lane, and when paired with Braum, it makes it a little bit easier to, you know, be a Braum. You're able to use your W as an engage tool coming off of the rope swing, as General Denobi is able to secure the solo bolo onto Granted.
Granted never reset after the kill that he got. Little bit of a goof there, in my opinion. I think you've got the gold. The wave is basically resetting from, you know, having crashed into your lane. Perfect time to reset.
Yeah, absolutely would have been a great time to reset. General Denobi showing that Tom Kench is still in a good spot as Puffin comes down for the Rift Walk, but actually the Rift Walk not going to be able to escape from Dino. The cooldown is still pretty high at this level. You're not at level 11 quite yet, and Dino going to be able to get a pretty easy seismic shove there to secure the kill.
I think using Rift Walk for the trade might have been a little ambitious when you're down 2-0. Oh,
yeah, that's absolutely right.
yeah,
As
the top lane.
as Tom Kench actually gets the consume off, but Granted is still alive, going to try to rotate, gets the ultimate off, and the Taste of Fear getting the kill onto General Denobi. I'm pretty sure it's Taste of Fear? Fear Beyond Death. What's Taste of Fear? I feel like Taste of Fear is definitely... Wait, maybe Warwick? I don't know.
Taste of Fear.
Anyways, yeah, Fear Beyond Death is what his ultimate is called, turns out. But yeah, Urgot securing the solo kill.
Nocturne, but I don't think that that's...
Nah, Nocturne's paranoia. We were just casting a Nocturne last night. It did, you know, it did stuff. It existed. It was definitely a champion in the game.
Was it?
Yeah, he went 0-7.
The old
but that's where we're going to try to support this engage here. Dino going to try to get the seismic shove, but the gank is going to amount to nothing because directed cam switches over to Puffin versus Rev Wingman. Wingman does have that press of the attack, and the flash Q is going to be enough to take that kill. Puffin going down yet again, still has the flash. He's saving it for next game, boys and girls. Deklo going to get caught here on Bachelor's W. Dino going to be able to support it, but Manemi getting this DPS as Tonka comes in, gets the dash into Dino, and Dino going to go down in response. Madness going to try to get the needlework off, is going to secure the kill onto Deklo, turning over onto Manemi, and Manemi is going to go down for the overextension. Double kill coming down for Madness, and this is a super fed Gwen out of absolutely nowhere. Gwen and Pantheon looking like a really powerful duo here.
As someone that has had to play Madness 2 weeks basically back-to-back, don't do that. That's not how you win the games.
Yeah, Madness is real good at taking advantage of any little thing that happens.
Bring back Gunblade.
So break down what's going on. What do we need to see in the next? Let's do a 2-minute, a 5-minute drill. See what these guys need to get done in order to transition into the next.
All right. So we are at 9.5 minutes. No dragons or heralds have been taken. No real prep for either objectives either. So I think what should happen is they should go for that herald. But I think what will happen is they're going to keep fighting.
Yeah, that does sound like the most fun option, to be completely honest. But if I'm one of these teams, I've got this advantage, Madness and Pantheon, looking to see River controlling out 4 ports here. They're going to be able to go on the wave because they have to respect Madness now. They're going to use that opportunity to dragon control or transition support over when securing a safe lane for Gwen in order to go for the Rift Herald. But at this point, I think they just make a choice and do it quickly before Puffin becomes a problem.
I don't know if it's happening on stream, but you are cutting in and out for me. I heard like every other word of that.
No, just keep talking.
There's not really much to talk about. They're literally just fighting. It's mostly just Puffin, dying. Puffin is considered the best mid in the league, so a little confused about, I guess, what the comms are like for him. Maybe he's just tired of carrying and wants to just, run it a little bit.
Maybe he just wants to chill. Yeah, I mean, when you pick Kassadin where you pick it here, it makes it difficult to... Yeah, I mean, you're going to get countered. You know exactly what you're playing for, and I think Puffin's perfectly capable of running away with a game if he gets to that point. We'll have to see if they can get some return gold, but seeing as there's already about a 3.5k gold lead on the side of Rev, this is looking like a game that SG is going to have to desperately try to slow down a little bit here.
And I think they're going to break open mid here. Maybe they're doing it to like set up for the dragon. Maybe they finally remembered about the other objectives in the game besides kills.
Yeah. Honestly, that's exactly what they need to be thinking about. Right now, the duo of Madness and Bachelor do have some pretty solid scaling. General Denobi is able to reposition Dino if he's ever in a caught position. Like, Tahm Kench and Senna still function as Tahm Kench and Senna outside of lane once laning phase is over. Tahm Kench's ultimate is still incredibly powerful. But you kind of run into this scenario again where Puffin can be extremely problematic if he's allowed to get to 3 items. You can see he's going for the Frozen Heart first here, as opposed to going for like a Roa or like a Everfrost or anything like that. Yeah. Puffin is opting in for the supportive item, so he stops dying to the Pantheon on repeat, and quite honestly, Frozen Heart is incredibly strong against this Rev composition. I just don't know if I'd have built it first.
I don't think it's going to do a whole lot without like the HP to back it up. You have a lot of armor, and I guess you're like stopping autos or slowing them down, I guess, a little bit, but I don't know. Me personally, I don't think that's the play. We've got another fight in the top lane though. Tahm Kench and our guy just they're not they're tired of the old wet noodle fight top lane. Their noodles are fully dry.
Yeah. Which is ironic considering that they're beating the crap out of each other and both of them are still at about half HP after all that.
Yeah, but it's better than being full HP after that, like usual.
Right? Now, I'm curious about Tom Kench's build. What mythic builds out of Warden's Mail? Any of them?
Nope, he's not building a mythic. I think he's also going frozen our first item.
Oh my god. Someone find SG's coach. Tell him he needs to go to coachify.gg. Look for Dory K.
Dashman, you there? I don't think Trashman has been their coach since like week 1, week 2.
Yeah, I don't believe Trashman's coaching them anymore. I don't actually remember who it is. But actually, oh my god, the grab actually gets onto General Denobi. He's going to have to get away. Gets the tongue lash to escape a little bit. But turret plating going down. Going to give us mid as a first tower. I didn't actually see if the tower went down prior to plates coming down. But at the same time, it's still first tower. It's still nearly 5 plates either way. And this Pantheon is looking incredibly strong. As well as this Gwen. Looking at, actually, nearly a 2,000 gold lead just in mid lane.
I mean, he's 3-0-3, and Puffin is 0-4, right? So, not too surprising. The good news for SG is Pantheon doesn't scale super well, so those skills probably would have been better on anyone else. Honestly, literally anyone else. The rest of them all scale better, including TK.
Yeah, I agree. As long as they can utilize this lead, then the kills are worth it. But at this point, they're putting a lot of eggs into the early game basket here. But we do want to see this tower go down as a response. Good play from Wingman. Let's see if he can convert this into yet another kill, or maybe a tower here on the next wave.
Oh.
Or Bachelor's going to kill himself on the tower.
Oh, and Tonka gets the big old shutdown.
Only the best for our boys in the IBS division. With Granted EX going down, yet another solo bolo in the top lane. It's almost like they just took a handshake and said, no, we're just going to fight it out this game. The junglers are going to ignore us, and you guys just need to let whatever happens happen.
He blew flash that time, though, unfortunately.
Unlucky.
Oh. Dino's getting a little too excited there.
Well, to go with the sauce, as Pantheon's ultimate comes down from Silas, and Dino going to be able to very slowly walk away. Declo still trying to get the chase down. Minami on the side here. I don't think they have the damage. They're trying to fight into a very obvious pink ward trap here.
Puffin was looking for the rotation, but then decided against it. And good decision there for him, to be honest.
Yeah, and we're looking at lane phase being over, so at this point, Puffin realistically wants to get out of the lane as General Denobi tries to go for the Umbral Dive, but nothing really going to come from it. Puffin going to be able to walk away. Riftwalker is in a level 11 state, so it's going to be a little bit lower cooldown, a little bit safer, and does a whole hell of a lot more damage the second we look at this completed Seraph's Embrace and maybe a Mythic. But you're looking at a 3-item spike for Kassadin. He needs to get himself in a situation where he can actually farm, or else he's just never going to get to that point, right? The snowballing can go insanely crazy.
His side laners refuse to let their towers go down, so he's kind of stuck in having to farm mid lane. Not the safest.
Yeah, as Bachelor actually gets deleted, Excel. Madness trying to get the flank off. Minami going to try to go for the fight here. Minami is very close. As the crit manages to secure the kill, and he's going to escape, but not for much longer. Down goes the Q from Rev Wingman. It's not going to hit, and Dino able to finally secure the kill. Throw another rock. Throw another rock until we actually hit
He did
one.
indeed throw another rock.
He threw so many rocks at him, finally manages to secure the kill. And that is, don't forget, also a Dark Harvest proc. As our boys go for the engage here, Granted and Puffin trying to get some damage off. Denobi going to be forced to use the flash, but Puffin able to use Riftwalker to just stay on top of him. Frozen Heart is here, so every time General Denobi goes for the trade, his auto attack speed is going to go down. Puffin being forced to flash away, has Riftwalker still available, is able to get out of turret range, but Granite EX taking a lot of damage, slowing himself with his W, needs to turn off his W if he wants to escape, and Declo going to get taken in by the counter engage. Senna Tomkench standing where it's supposed to be, but at the same time, a fight going on. The Rift Herald killing spree going down for Dino. Tonka getting killed, trying to take away Dino's Silas jungle, but it's not proving to do very well here as Rev gets another lead here. 5,000 gold lead for Rev, 2 dragons, and they're looking at pressuring the Rift Herald here and converting that into Soul Point in the next 4 minutes here. So
Watching the last like 2.5 minutes, I was expecting a kill top lane. And no one died, but then someone died in the Rift Herald pit.
it's such an extended fight. You're absolutely right. As the seismic shove comes out here. Umbral dive gonna come in. Is Granted gonna be able to survive the play? Braum ultimate comes down, but we've still got Needlework getting some damage down on the backside.
Pantheon.
But they're gonna get poked down. Pantheon trying to get himself a dive, but he's actually throwing his lead away. Manages to kill himself in between the enemy team, going a little bit too aggro. General Denobi gonna barely survive. Uses the thick skin to survive here. General Denobi still going forward with Umbral dive going down, but Madness gonna snip his way all the way home, and that's a triple kill for Dino's Talia. Talia.
That might have been the
this
play that Puffin needed to be there for. He got some low HP targets. He might have been able to pick up a kill or two, get himself back in the game.
Yeah,
Shelly
absolutely.
gets 3 charges. This might be a Shelly dance angle. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at threatening the top inhib already at 19.5 minutes. Looking at 20 minutes coming out. Going to basically guarantee the dragon off reset here. Tonka, though, going to try to tell them they're overextending this. But every time he tries to go for it, Denobi's actually going to block the ultimate from the Urgot. And he's going to barely get away. Dino walking away as slowly as he can, but Bachelor and General Denobi playing Senatom Kench the way the Lord told us to. Surviving for way too long. That duo just, you know, it was a little delayed, about 20 minutes delayed, but Senatom Kench are finally in full swing back as a duo. But this time the Tom Kench is huge. That's a 4-level advantage over the Senna this time. So
I still have no idea what his mythic is going to be. He's building every
I don't
component.
think he knows. There he goes,
it's
Heartsteel.
Heartsteel.
He did it. He finally got his
20,
Heartsteel.
20-minute Heartsteel. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I mean, he's
plan,
relatively fed, and it took him 20 minutes, but, I mean, we do
I mean,
remember
at
the
that point,
days
would
back
it
when top
not be
laners
better
used to-
for ever to get like Iceborne Gauntlet or Jack Show? I don't know.
I mean, keep in mind, too, the damage profile of these guys is 4 melees on the side of SG, so Jack Show absolutely would have been alright. But at the same time, there's not a single person on their team, I think, that can really contest him when he goes Heartsteel. Heartsteel also really strong into multiple melees like that and gives you that 1v1 side lane pressure that's pretty impossible to deal with. So Pantheon actually starting to already show exactly where the scales are tipping, and the scales are tipping towards literally anybody but Rev Wingman at this point.
Oh no!
But it
Inami's
doesn't
not
even
here.
matter because Dino is actually huge. Declo taking another proc, and he's going to have to use his Tom Kench ultimate to escape. Silas utilizing these ults pretty well despite being in the less favorable position in this game so far. But Rev kind of getting themselves on a timer. Yes, they do have an 8,000 gold lead. Yes, the gold lead is expanding. They need to break open this base as fast as possible because Puffin is very slowly becoming a champion here, Excel. As the fight comes down, granted EX managing to barely survive the Senna ultimate on the backside, but Tonka, unfortunately, is not. Bachelor getting the flash off to survive the tower shots. General Denobi not going to be able to tank it up in time to get the inhibitor tower.
Bachelor finally figured out how
more
to.
kills.
Yeah, Bachelor finally figured out how to trade aggro with tower, and now it's doomed for them because that was SG's saving grace.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now let's take a look.
Puffin
at the
Puffin
Dragon
is
setup
literally
coming out, 20
one
seconds
item
left
away.
here.
It's almost time for the Kassadin,
That is a fully stacked tier.
as the kids would say, for him to start getting racist.
Exodia Kassadin on his way in here. Going to become a massive problem.
He's
For,
wearing the skin as well. It's, I believe that's Gummy's favorite skin.
Is Gummy's favorite skin. Granted, EX, though, getting first rotation from the top side. You can see Prio in favor of SG. They are getting in here first, but Bachelor is doing a fantastic job of distributing DPS to these guys, distributing the poke into the entrances, and Dino We cannot understate exactly how useful, how powerful Dino has been as the Weaver's Wall comes down to try to cut off Granted EX here. The engage is going to go down. He tries to get the flash, but he's not quite going to escape, though. From ultimate, not going to be enough. The Glacial Fissure not being effective enough to stop this. Puffin and Tonka now going to try to get out of dodge as they start proxying past them.
Wingman taking.
What the
another
hell
kill.
is Manami doing?
That's madness.
Yeah,
and I believe
Madness
he's dying.
as well, kind of doing a wee bit of trolling here. Puffin trying to chase him down, has the Rift Walk available. Tonka trying to use the Needlework to catch up to him, but it's not going to be quite enough damage and not quite enough slowing as Madness is going to be able to escape. Wingman on the backside going to go for the counter engage here. Can Madness and Wingman poke him here, or trap him here? Tonka going to try to go for the return kill, but he actually gets executed. Nobody hit him as General Denobi goes for the top inhibitor. Manami going to try to fight him, but I mean, it's a Tom Kench and an Akshan. Akshan, you've already been outscaled. Good thing he can't hit a Tongue Lash to save his life as Puffin comes in, tries to get the return kill. Granted EX chasing him down, has the W's procking, get him those shotgun knees, and General Denobi going to be forced to Tongue Lash away, trying to not go for a re-engage. Actually, Dino being forced to flash away.
Who wins, Dino or 4 members of SG? Turns out it's even.
Yeah, it turns out Dino is very strong. He's sitting on a 2-item spike here. Leandries is done. Rabadabba Ding Dong Death Cap is available, and Shadow Flame is on its way. Going to be pretty effective against these shield-bearing champions. Pretty wise to still go for the Shadow Flame here. There's going to be a lot of shields to deal with, a lot of shred that they have to get through. So I think Dino is doing a good job of pushing his lead even further. And I think Dino actually is giving himself a huge showing in this match so far.
I think they're going to have to start figuring out how to close out this game, though. Cassidy is almost level 16. Only 2 levels left. They have yet to take either inhib. They've opened up all the towers, but, you know, no inhibs. Kills. SG is finding them where they're finding them.
Yeah, the return kill's coming down. Deklo actually going to get caught by Puffin, but he's just kidding.
Here's
Call an
Dino.
ambulance, but not for Nevermind. Dino gets the kill. Dino is huge. All they have to do is fight around this Talia, and everything belongs to them. Dino going ahead and just putting Big Brother on the controls, doing a fantastic job, popping the hell off so far in Game 1.
Is that Dory's cousin?
I plead the 5th.
Honestly, watching this game, if either of these teams played like this in semis, I think we'd be seeing a different finals. Especially Rev.
Yep.
Rev is they've dialed it up to 11.
Yeah, Rev is playing this matchup incredibly well. I think it goes to show, too, like, we didn't really get to see Rev and SG. I think Rev and SG played each other relatively early in the season, so we didn't really get to see how they stacked up against each other after Rev leveled up throughout the latter part of the season. At the same time, SG, you've got to give them some credit. They're not playing with Hexane tonight. They're playing with Granite EX, and Granite is doing his best. He's traded 1-for-1 kills, but there may be champion pool issues. There may be communication issues. Unfortunately, Gwen is immune, so the Glacial Fissure isn't going to do jack shit. And Tonka just kind of being forced to hit his red buff. At this point, SG is finding picks in places where you wouldn't expect them to be able to, and they need to just keep doing things like that. If they're able to survive for long enough, they might actually be able to slowly turn things around if the cast
on
is put in a
Wingman.
favorable position just like this. TP coming down from General Denobi, going to try to follow it up, but he's probably not in the best place here. Going to be forced to use the ultimate to escape. Madness being stuck in between Urgot and Manami, but the Gwen is immune, not going to be able to do anything. The ultimate comes down. Fear Beyond Death completes the kill onto Madness. And suddenly, Madness isn't looking so heavy, isn't looking so strong. Wingman going to get the engage down, and he immediately deletes Tonka. Tonka has absolutely no resistances, full AP. And if Rev Wingman comes in with the combination of items that he has, he can absolutely delete anybody that's not itemizing respectfully for his armor.
And I said that they had no inhibs, so now they're just going to get both. I think they're listening to me. Yo, who's leaking stream? All right, do you think that they can wrap it up here, or do you think that
I think it's entirely possible. I don't think they're forced to, but I would like to see them go for it. as Dino tries to get the seismic shove, does a ton of damage to Declo, and there's not a lot he can do in response with that Glacial Fissure down. It is coming back up, but the Weaver's Wall going to go down, try to separate the team, but all it does, ironically, is separate their own minions. And Tonka, I think, realized, just used his own Weaver's Wall to avoid it. Manemi taking a ton of damage on the backside of that. And now they finally are able to escort the wave and see the Pantheon fighting in the top side. Granity Axe going to try to do the anti-dive here, but Tom Kench is just too strong. Glacial Fissure coming down. Tower is just about to die. Riv Wingman actually survives. Declo going incredibly low, and the inhibitor, the Nexus is very, very low. Wingman going to block Manemi's ultimate. As they're going to finish off these kills, they're going to go for the triple kill.
And
Does not get the quadra kill. And
5-0 and
Nexus
ended game.
going down.
What an interesting game one. Do you think that SG decides that they're gonna, I guess, take things a little bit more seriously, draft a little bit more conventional, things that can actually deal with some of the more spicy picks that Rev has picked?
I think so. I think Rev's still making, like, they're making weird picks, but they're still consistently creating compositions that make sense to have. Whereas SG's kind of having some fun with it. I think they need to put a little bit more effort in if they want to like make it like a competitive third place match. And I think they do. Like, I don't think they want to just like roll over and die. I think that they want to win games while still having fun. So I'm expecting to see them make some changes in their draft here. But at the same time, I also wouldn't be super like bent out of shape if they just decided to have themselves like a goofy little slugfest to finish out the season, honestly.
Dean is telling us not to analyze the drafts. Well, what do you want us to do, Dean? You want to silence your stream? Is that what you want?
I think that's exactly what they want. Well, it looks like we're actually going to get pulled into the... Stop inviting me to games. People keep inviting me to games and I'm literally...
I've done that to you a few times.
I think so. Anyways, we've got ourselves another game up on the list Excel. We're going to go ahead and keep it rolling, though, so that we don't have anybody waiting up for too late for our third place match tonight. Stay tuned. Stay here for just a little bit longer. SG going to stay hydrated. SG going to get side selection for this game, too. As we head into it, stay tuned.
You never stop calling me crazy, but you the one that's fucking crazy. And it's time for me to run. Yeah, it's time for me to go. I will stick around for you.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dory and Excel, but we are being joined with our third idiot in the podcast. We've got Elsword the Fourth coming in and filling in as well. The three of us are going to have ourselves a wonderful TriCast and cover this wonderful best of 5 third place match between Rev Armada and SG Charm. I actually need to switch the sides because they've actually opted to switch sides in this game. Go ahead and tell me, guys, what you think some adaptations need to be in order for SG to have a better game this time.
Probably don't blind pick Cassidy. And also, clearly, Rev is ready to flex things around, so don't see champion and assume it's going XYZ place. We see Gwen Seraphine for Rev picked up. Could be bot lane again, but Gwen could also be top lane. We don't know. We see Diana on the other side. That could be top lane. That could be mid. Nope, never mind. That's jungle Udyr. Unless the ADC Udyr.
I would not be surprised.
I mean, they have the Senna, right? Any melee plus Senna equals good, or something.
Yeah.
I want to see
Sword.
Tom Kench.
You wanna see
I think
another
Tom Kench is too strong right now to not be picked. Oh!
Oh, this is a good one too, though.
That's the brand top.
It's either the brand top, they're taking a play out of Imperial Gaming's playbook, or I think the better bet is actually the brand has slowly gotten some attention over the last few patches, and he's kind of flown on the radar because, quite frankly, Brand's not that good of a champion.
I thought they buffed his
but-
attack speed. What does that do?
It makes him go bot lane and farm while Senna fasts.
Oh.
Another
Sword,
good
you know what we're playing
combination
on
was
Monday.
you remember when Nami got the changes that made it so her electrocute procs off of other people using her E?
Yeah.
That made Lucian Nami so strong, where you'd go like the first strike Lucian and then start W for chase down, and then you'd go Nami E, and you'd be able to trade at level 1 with her electrocute, doing like a metric ass load of damage. Well, the same thing happens with Brand if you start E. So you can walk up his Brand, click E, point and click something with E, with Nami E applied to you, and you can just do a shitload of damage by auto-trading. So increasing Brand's attack speed, while being a good tool for that, is also a good tool in lane. It's like why a lot of mid-lane mages take attack speed rune as their one of their tertiary runes, instead of going like double damage. It does provide a lot of value there.
What do we
Okay,
think of the Janna pick here, guys?
What do you think of Janna? Janna got buffed this patch, or is this the rework patch?
Yes, it's the current patch. Like it's
Like
patch.
the current patch got the rework, like the one that came out yesterday.
Yep.
Okay. You guys are a bot lane duo. You guys tell me about it, because I don't really know much about
I don't know how to read.
the Janna changes. All right, Sword, you're the only educated one in the chat. You're the Canadian.
I
Americans
didn't
be
play
dumb.
since 2 days. Yeah.
Oh no! All right.
We're ready for
Type League
finals.
of Legends patch notes.
Yeah, that's a Brungle.
It's a Brungle. Oh yep, it
Okay.
is Brungle. You know,
Interesting picks. The Riven coming out.
That's Riven mid. Puffin said not this time.
Buffin said not this time. All right, Riven mid. Let's see. Nerfs on the docket. Kassadin actually got nerfed this patch, so
Yeah, we see.
I don't know. Last game, Nyla got nerfed. So yeah, so the adjustments came for Seraphine, who we're actually seeing in this game, Gragas, Janna, and Brand. So 3 of the 4 champions adjusted this patch have been drafted in here. So, what's going on? Basically, they're trying to make Brand a jungler. Monster modifier for his passive is increased by 10% damage. I personally don't think that's big enough. I think it's akin to like Gnar and Darius and Garen getting monster damage buffs to their abilities. You don't magically see Gnar and Darius in the jungle. And for good reason, a damage buff on their abilities is not enough. However, what is good is that Brand got a 10% scaling buff to his E, which is basically his strongest setup spell, and it helps apply your passive at pretty much all stages. And it's the easiest one to land. It's great setup, it's guaranteed damage, and if you can build some decent AP, then you get the scaling from that. So I'm personally of the opinion that Brand should be a carry role and not a support by these changes. I don't necessarily think he should be a jungler, but we're going to see how the Brungle does.
I would
don't
agree.
Think it's Brungle. I don't think is it Brungle? We're watching the draft.
No,
Olaf
I don't
has
think
been-
it's Brungle. I think it's going to be
Okay.
Udyr jungle, Brand Senna bot lane, and then
Keep-
everything standard more or less. I'm curious as to see whether or not the Olaf goes jungle or if they are going to bring out the Gwen jungle.
I think it's most likely
so-
Olaf jungle. I'm more
so
curious
far-
about, is it fasting Senna or farming Senna?
It's going to be fasting. No one plays farming except you and me, Sword. And that's just because we don't know how to read.
And also because your coach is an idiot and tells you to. So far, Seraphine has been locked in mid, Gwen has been locked in jungle, and Olaf has been locked in top. That's not to say they're there. You have until 20 seconds left on the cooldown timer to make any trades, so maybe they're just doing a little bit of trolling. Granted, EX.
Yeah, but
is
after
gonna
the
take
last
the
game,
Reddit-
is it really trolling?
I mean, I guess not. We actually see Rumble for Puffin locked in so far, and keep in mind it's not Hexane. Hexane being like that renowned Juggernaut player on SG's roster. Granted, being their sub actually does have a more diverse and mobile champion pool. You kind of saw it last game. Even in the loss, like the Urgot was... I think he played the Urgot pretty well, all things considered. But the Riven is a Granted EX special, if I remember correctly.
I know Rumble is like one of Puffin's mains from years ago. Riven and Granted, I'm not sure about. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just happy that Rev is picking a normal bot lane.
Yeah, Rev actually opting to give Jhin and Jhin Janna. I actually think the Janna adjustments make, from what I'm reading here, and I'm sorry to be like casting and reading at the same time, but I think the Janna changes make her more valuable to just anything, as opposed to being like, I stick to hyper carry, I am a worse Lulu.
What are the changes?
It's a long list. All right, so big
Just the
number of
TLDR.
base stat changes
Okay.
that make her feel more comfortable to play, more fun to play. Similar changes actually, ironically, happened in Wild Rift about 2 months ago to Janna.
Coincidence?
And they were received very well, so I like that Riot is taking after whatever Tencent tried to do. Usually Tencent falls flat on their faces and fails, but this Janna rework has been relatively well received, so I'm hoping League of Legends itself likes it as well. Janna's passive Tailwind. She no longer gains bonus movement speed while facing allied champions. That was completely removed. It's just worse Soraka. Now, her basic attacks and W deal bonus magic damage equal to a scaling percentage of her movement speed. So she's incentivized to build that movement speed, but her damage scales with it. So you can like build your early boot and look to make these roams, look to make these picks with W into Q.
All right, so you heard him. Moby's into triple zeal.
Yes, unironically, Mobies would be good on Janna now.
I'll try that in the next room. Don't you
Yeah,
worry.
I mean,
TD,
I
you
think
didn't-
in a specific,
TD,
granted,
you
in
didn't
like
hear
a specific
anything.
situation, I think it's good. In a
TD,
specific
you didn't hear
situation, I
anything.
think it's
Alright,
good.
we're definitely
TD
not
didn't
doing
hear
that.
shit.
Yeah.
Q, mana cost change, cooldown change, damage scaling is down, or actually damage scaling is up, base damage is down. So Janna is being like targeted for a lot of her abilities at being more of a scaling support pick. Actually, no. Oh, I see. So actually, the damage is front-loaded now into W. So Q has better AP scaling, but W appears to have better base damage. So it looks like they're trying to use her as like this point-and-click poke machine.
So
and
max
giving her the
W in
ability
lane,
to,
and then
yeah.
Cosmic Drive.
Yeah, exactly. And now that W works with her passive, like damage from W scales with her passive, she has scaling options in all of her abilities. And she's incentivized to like build the early AP. She's incentivized to build like a mandate. She's incentivized to build Echoes of
Cosmic
Helia.
Drive.
Not Cosmic Drive Excel.
So she's more of a mage and less of an enchanter. Like the shield doesn't matter as much as before.
That's what it appears to be, if I'm
Yeah.
reading this correctly.
It's sounding like the whole kit isn't about maxing your shield and then putting it on your carry over and over again, and that's like the extent of your champion. Now it's looking like they're like, oh yeah, she's a champion, so she should have more than one ability.
Exactly. So, Seraphine says she's got an adjustment, but this looks to just be a straight up, like, nerf. Her W scaling is down. Her Q cooldown is up. And her passive damage is down. Her passive base damage is slightly up. No, this is just a straight up nerf. I don't know why they're even calling this an adjustment. This is just a nerf.
It's balanced, Dory. It's balanced.
This is just a nerf.
So what do you guys
anyways.
think the win con is for each team?
Armada runs fast at you, and
SG sets you on
Jim.
fire.
yeah, SG has really good. SG has good, really strong AOE and strong solo laners, with utility from the Udyr. I learned recently that Udyr feels really bad to play right now because he doesn't have like built-in mobility, so he needs a lot of setup from his lanes. But Granite EX and then Manami and Deklo both have plenty of options for him. So maybe Udyr will have a little bit better time than I did last week.
Did you take Ghost?
I did take Ghost.
Oh, but you were playing into like 5 different champions that slow you and stop you.
Yeah, I was playing into Senatom Kench. Like,
Sorry.
It might be playable. Bot lane's definitely not playable, but the other lanes are pretty playable. As we're actually going to transition right into game, we managed to talk our way through the entire thing, so here we go! We're on Summoner's Rift. Didn't even have to go through an intermission screen here. I even prepared the intermission screen, but who needs it? Sword, Excel, take it away.
Hello, everybody.
Well-
I'm Excel. That's Sword. We're the bot lane from CB. We're pretty bad, but at least better than these guys. That's how we made it to finals. Go ahead, Sword.
It looks like it's gonna be farming Senna after all.
Oh, we got
Oh,
dance party in
man.
mid lane. Let's go.
Let's
All right,
go.
Dory, give us the play-by-play.
Wait, Bachelor
Bachelor
is
actually going for the auto.
yeah.
Deklo getting the return auto, though. It's super disrespectful. We need to be spamming dance here, but you can absolutely tell who is absolutely boosted.
It's
having
okay.
auto attack
Nobody-
enabled. Bachelor has auto attack enabled. Bachelor needs to go to jail. Turn auto attack off. Everybody pause so Bachelor can disable it. Puffin gonna get the little bit of a proc off on the end of that. The E going down.
I will
onto
say
the
one
wingman.
thing though. Batsword decided to start with the relic shield, so he didn't get anything out of those autos. But Deklo is a dirty griefer, and he actually cashed out on it.
Disrespecting the sanctity of the level 1. Sword, tell us all about the importance of this lane setup bot lane here. How does these first 3 levels play out?
I think in theory it should be a lot of bullying from Senna brand, because they got the range advantage, and that's really important until pretty much level 6. But if Madness can get a really good chunk with his force shots, he can absolutely negate the bullying and just take it himself.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty accurate depiction of what should be happening here. And at the same time, Excel, what's your take on Seraphine mid right now?
I think that as long as he keeps the wave pushed up a little bit more towards the Rumble side, he should be fine. If he gets it pushed in, he's going to get poked down. And while Seraphine has sustain, I don't think it's going to be able to out-sustain Rumble, as you can see. So he did a good job of like getting the wave pushed in initially. For the majority of the game, though, I think it's going to be a struggle until it's team fight season. And oh, never mind, Puffin doesn't want to win.
Puffin decided to go for a super ambitious dive onto Wingman, and Wingman definitely having a better night still so far. I think we might have broken Declo by making him play so much solo queue during these playoffs.
You mean
Puffin?
Puffin?
Yeah, he means Puffin. But
Yeah,
also,
I definitely
Puffin
meant Puffin.
didn't use Ignite. Puffin could have used Ignite to like just zone him out of lane. My opinion, I think sometimes setting people on fire at full HP, worth it.
Yeah, especially
gotta-
if they have the sustain, right? If you're going to go for an all-in, you might as well drop their sustain from the start of the fight, right?
Exactly.
You gotta remember though, he took Darkseal to start, and not Doran's Blade. So Doran's ring, I mean.
He did not take Doran's ring. He didn't take Corrupting Pot. He didn't take D-Shield. He went for the engage. As Granity X actually going to get ignited, is forced to run away as General Denobi has the engage. Tonka and Dino both proccing their ghost here, but Dino going to be able to get alive under the tower. Going to try to get the re-engage here. General Denobi procs his ghost as well. Goes for the undertow, but doesn't have any mana. Going to be forced to walk away. Does have access to his passive to auto-attack faster. Has the W. Has the E to do that true damage onto Tonka if he wants to. Dino going to be able to follow him out, and Gwen is immune. Going to be able to get the counter kill onto the only Tonka as a fight breaks out in the bot lane at the exact same time. Madness having to kite backwards, but Manami does have the range advantage at the moment. Declo has control of these brushes, and Manami going to be able to dodge out that Janna Q. Bachelor needs to use that point and click W a little bit more aggressively, being forced to burn the flash here. Ignite coming down from Declo, not going to be able to secure the kill, but is definitely going to bully them out and going to force them to take poke underneath their tower here as the wave arrives.
How did both the NATO and the W miss?
Ah.
He looked like he was sure to get hit by both. I guess the NATO could have, like, you know, like the range could have ended, but that W looked like it was spot on. I don't know. I think Manami might be cheating. Just saying.
Maybe it's just spectator bug too.
Yeah, spectator bug.
Elevation gap. But this lane turning out to be
Ooh, I like the aggression here. Using the priority bot to invade the D in 0. That's really good macro out of Tonka.
Yeah, but Declo's out of
actually
mana.
manages to
If
It
Declo had a
sucks
little bit
that
more mana.
Wingman was a little bit wide on that double up E. If he had landed that double up, that might have been enough to secure a kill onto Tonka. Actually, no. Tonka, I think, had passive, so he could have been able to double ram stance out.
You say double?
Or
Who's
if he's
double?
too slow, he could have double turtle stance and then gained a massive shield.
Oh yeah, the shield would have been good. I just think like double ram stance, just become immune to the CC and walk away, sort of like.
I thought the CC drop
Yeah, that's
was
fair.
from the W.
No, the CC immunity is from ram stance, from enhanced ram stance E.
What is ram stance? You mean bear stance?
It's
No.
he's
Don't
a
hit-
ram
don't-
now.
don't talk to
Since
me.
the rework, it's a ram now.
Don't use these super terms with me, all right?
Flash bear slap, brother.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll have you
unfortunately,
know-
These
we're not
youngins and
gonna
your
see
ram
about that.
stances. Back in my day, all we had were D gates. All right.
I'll have you know that just like Tonka, I too am hanging out with someone who's forced to play solo queue with Trick 2G a lot lately. So, Gummy has been Gummy has been griefed by Trick 2G like 3 games in the last 2 days.
What is going on here? Bachelor is
Bachelor
getting
is
caught.
getting, yeah, Bachelor getting a little
Declo
bit
flashed.
engaged on. But,
So that's actually a dub for Bachelor.
Yeah.
He got flashed for nothing.
I'm surprised he lived though. That tornado timing was pretty lucky on the flash from Deklo.
Oh,
I think Deklo was trying to flash the NATO. But what's
Tonka
going on
comes in
here?
and Tonka
We're
comes
actually
in.
having 2 trades coming down. Go ahead, Excel. Take it away.
Tonka came in, and then Granite lost all of his HP, and then Tonka lost most of his HP, and then Denobi's back to where he was before the fight started.
Do you guys think that after seeing what just happened, Denobi's going to have the confidence to just click Ragnarok in the future as a fight breaks out? The tower dive going to go down, but it's going to be tragic. Granity X is going to survive the 1v2, and Dino and Denobi just throw away the lead that they had established in this lane. Granity X is in a position to pop the hell off here.
To your point, before that happened, Dory, Denobi actually did use his Ragnarok when Udyr came in, but he used it after Granite like backed off. So I think if he had popped it before, he could have definitely ran Granite down, and then Granite probably doesn't have 2 kills right now. But hey, you know,
That'd
you
be
live and learn.
crazy, right? You'd think, what if he like has the confidence to just run at her now, and he realizes just how much he's able to do to her by himself? He's like, oh wait, I do damage.
Well, I would have said yes to your question before the 2 kills, but now I'm not too sure because this is a big. How do we say this in English?
We don't care. Say it in French for our French
Sounds
audience.
It doesn't help if no one understands me.
It's fine. That's what Google translates for.
Which, Jack, give us a shout out if you speak French, because I sure as hell don't. As we
It's
see,
a big
actually,
swing. That's how we say it. It's a big,
Big
swing,
swing,
for
right.
for the Riven. And now he
Yeah.
should have prio on Olaf.
I get
pretty
it,
much all
because
the time.
he definitely has an item advantage. He just has to be aware of it, as Denobi actually tries to get the undertow, but he's not going to be able to pick up the axe, so Riven going to be able to get a favorable advantage over him here.
I think Denobi should continue to play aggressive because he took 2 tower shots and they're even in HP. That should be his like cue that like, hey, if we fight in the middle of the lane, then I can run her down.
So
instead of
I got a
constantly
question for you
shoving.
guys. When did Herald get taken?
Just a little bit ago, right after the double kill happened, Gwen was taking it solo.
Oh.
Gwen do be able to take that solo.
She snuck it when Denobi came back in the lane and Granite had reset.
Oh, there's a Ragnarok.
Oh no!
Oh, but it doesn't matter.
Did he have a word up? He did not have a word up. Actually, I can't tell. Did he have? No, now he does. Everyone's word came up at the same time. Is that a visual bug?
Is what a visual bug, sorry.
Is that a spectate bug, or did all of SG decide to word at the exact same time? Because all of their words came up
synergy.
That's why we're not the best team, Axel. We just don't word all at the same time.
We don't word at the exact same second.
So we actually have now a smooth transition into the nobody has taken a tower phase of the game. This has been a much more balanced early game between these 2 teams, as we see the Udyr kind of tucking himself into that river brush, going to start channeling his base, but are we going to see him be able to get engaged? You can see if Bachelor and Madness see him, and I think this level of aggression really tells them that the jungler's here. If they wise up about it, Udyr is going to be hanging out in the alcove. They didn't actually spot him, but at the same time, they might have a suspicion that something is going on, because Puffin is starting to rotate down here as well, and ooh, I like this response from them, actually. What do you guys think of the Rift Herald usage mid here?
I think it's the best thing that they could have done. They see that there's gonna be a play bot side that you've got like Minami and Deklo shoving tower for like shoving lane for like the first time in like 5 minutes, and then you see Puffin missing. That's a pretty clear indicator that something's going down bot side. So I think that more likely they were expecting that they were prepping for Drake, but if they were, then you get the free plates.
And we've actually gotten word that apparently this draft from SG is called The Voices.
Oh, they let Chotch draft got it.
They let Chotch draft. He's hearing the voices.
Where do you
that being
take
said-
your information? Did the SG coach just message you?
Nope. The IBS general chat. Did you guys know that the cardinal sin for a caster that you're told basically when you're first learning is not to read Twitch chat and not to read Discord while you're casting?
No, that's the best part. What do you mean? How are you supposed to
Reading-
engage with your chat if you don't read it? Come on.
You are like a radio broadcaster. The idea is that you need to be able to make somebody know exactly what's happening in the game without them having to even have the video on. Like a sports broadcaster. You know, like in the olden days when you'd listen to like an NFL game on the radio?
I mean,
Yeah.
those still exist, I think.
Yeah, I
Dory,
think
that was
so.
before I was
think
in the
it's still-
US.
Oh, yeah, neither
Well,
are
I
we
still
with this.
hear some for hockey, so
Oh, yeah,
I
hockey.
just
He's
would
Canadian.
assume
Yeah, that makes sense.
NFL still does it.
Canuck, an Indian, and a redneck show up to a Twitch stream. As Granity X is going to go down 2 Dinos.
Brother, you're from New York. I don't think you count as a redneck.
I'm from... Okay, so here's the thing. If anything but New York City is basically just like another...
No. I think the redneck line stops at like Western Penn, like Pennsylvania, and that's where you gotta
What do you
cut it
think
off.
Buffalo is?
I don't know, home of Niagara Falls. the place where that movie about the fucking Tylenol pill.
A Tylenol pill?
Yeah, what's it called? Osmosis Jones.
Osmosis Jones.
Yeah.
There's also Bruce Almighty, who's filmed in Buffalo, and the most recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Puffin going down to the gank, though. Gonna get the Rev Wingman burning. Unfortunately, the Arya
Calculated.
does not
How
survive
many
there,
HP
so-
is that?
Calculated.
That is a lot of HP. Declo managing to land the root, though. Bachelor going to have to walk away, trying to get the Q to get the snipe away, but Bachelor going to tick down by a little bit of damage, gets the E off to survive.
Not
by
enough
just
fire.
A little bit. Declo, yep, Declo not applying enough fire. Unfortunately, they definitely need both of their Pyromaniacs in order to effectively cause damage, because Declo going to be forced to take a walk away. Can't chase Dino down too much more. If that Conqueror procs and the Needlework comes back up, it could spell doom for them.
Anyone know when Declo used his ult last? He didn't have it for the Janna, but I can't remember when he used it.
I think he used it to counteract a dive attempt when Dino came bot. That being said, Dino's fed again. I didn't really see it or highlight it too much.
2-1
because
fed.
Revan-
I don't know. That's at 15 minutes. That might be pushing it a little bit.
I mean, he's almost at 100 CS. For a jungler, that's not bad, being able to farm efficiently and have like 2 out of 3 kill participation, and you're on the scaling pick. Like, I think it's fine.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's fed. I think he's in line to get fed. They should stop him. I wouldn't say he's fed.
Yeah, I guess he is stoppable. You're right.
And there's Wingman.
Wingman's gonna die again.
There it is. The
Oh,
ulti.
there's the ultimate.
That's enough fire. There it is. All you needed was all 4 fires.
All
I
4?
wonder if these guys have watched Fire Force recently.
Both of them have abilities that cause fire, and then they also have ignite. I'm counting Brand's entire champion as
Oh,
one
Dino
fire.
survives!
And
Gonna
he's
be
healing.
using
Wow.
needlework to avoid the Tonka. He's actually going to survive the fight. Madness has to walk away from Declo. Declo being caught between a rock and a hard place, more like a rock and a Janna place. Often trying to desperately defend this tower that is creeping incredibly low to dying.
I think they should give
use
it
the
up.
Rift Herald mid. Yeah, I mean, they've got the Rift Herald mid, and this is exactly what they need. Ragnarok goes down. Granted EX, being forced to walk away. He doesn't pick up the axe, so he's not going to get the undertow back quite yet. Tonka going to be able to burn General Denobi, sorry.
I think
And
Denobi.
Dino trying to decide whether he wants to actually follow it. Bachelor and Madness rotating up. They're going to act like they're not going for the play, but the E going to come down for Bachelor. Let's see if he can proc the W. Jin's root comes down. General Denobi going to be able to secure the shutdown. Not a shutdown, sorry. Onto Granite EX. Not a shutdown, but it is still a lot of gold. And Stride Breaker better than Gore Drinker? I think so when 3 members of your team show up with you.
I think Denobi's just got to work a little bit more on not chucking his axes as far. There's been a few times where he's chucked it just a little too far to be able to pick it back up. From my experience, always best to land it right on top of them, not past them.
And Sword, what do you think the play is for these teams now that we've got Dragon coming up? Ocean Drake for the second Drake is available.
I think SG needs Granted to be on a good flank, and they need to the Udyr needs to peel really well for the Senna brand, because they're gonna do all the damage. Let's be real. And
Sure. So do you think they give up this second Drake since they got the first one?
I don't think they need to give it up. I just think they need a good setup, which right now they don't have. So yeah,
I think given the state of the game, I think given the state of the game, it was actually better that they give it up and let Riven take that top tower, because that opens up the lane a little bit more. So later in the game, she can actually split.
Unfortunately, Tonka decided that the play was actually to not only give up the Drake but also kill himself.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I think someone might have blast planted him over. I'm not sure.
I think he did it himself at the steal.
Yeah, the funny thing is, he did it after the Drake died.
They probably didn't.
Oh, but granted, showing ADC is just not a role.
It's true.
Oh, curtain call coming down. Granite EX being stuck between them goes to engage.
Oh, never mind.
Or try to run away the wrong way, but Manami and Deklo there to defend. Is Ragnarok available? It is not, so General Denobi going to get kited out a little bit. Brand Ultimate coming down. Fireplasm going to not quite get the kill. General Denobi has to walk away, and down comes the Equalizer. More fire! More fire! Only Tonka coming off the flank. Puffin still barely alive. Is he going to be able to escape? He is so far. Dino might be able to get the Needlework. Oh, Needlework is already down, actually. Manami can survive the play on the backside with Senna. Deklo going to get a little bit low, but Tonka trying to play out the fight even longer. They're going to go ahead and take what they got for an advantage here, and that's a 3-4-2 for the side of SG after that long extended fight.
And it was 2.
This is
this
is exactly what I wanted to see from SG. Everyone peeling for the Senna brand having a lot of CC themselves too.
I think they could have layered
that's how you win the fights.
And they could have layered the Senna W with the Equalizer a little bit better, but aside from that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, despite not having like a reliable way to set up Equalizer, they're doing very well at applying the damage anyways.
I wish one of these teams would draft some. Build something a little bit more, I guess, controversial. So I had something to talk about. But standard builds, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. You're saying that, but Kraken Slayer on Senna?
I built
Is
Kraken
that really
Slayer on
the
Senna
fight?
in the last game that we played together.
I don't remember. Oh, what game
I don't think
was
it's
that?
good into this. I don't think it's good into this game. But we played
There's no
against.
front line to chunk, so
Correct. In this game, I don't think it's the play. I think if he was going to go that sort of a build, like if he's going crit build, Storm Razor probably a little bit better. In my opinion.
Oh yeah, I agree. Storm Razor would have been good there. Granite EX actually going to get locked down by the Jin root. Going to barely survive. Deklo actually getting caught by the Encore.
that's a French word.
I had a glitch. Puffin gonna walk over and just kind of watch mid lane tower go down. Trying to see if he's gonna rotate onto some farm here, since there's not really anything to be doing. If they are gonna threaten Baron, there's not like he can do anything about it.
He can go kill himself.
I don't think they should threaten Baron. Equalizer is available. It's pretty risky.
But this is IBS. They have to do something. If they don't do anything questionable, then how are people supposed to know that it's IBS?
I mean, that's a little bit of PTSD from my part. The last 5 times we did Baron on our team, so
Sorry, baby. We had to do it again. CD, you didn't hear anything. Don't contest us. Let it happen.
We're drafting Yasuo bot lane on Monday.
Yeah, TD, if we ever do Baron, just watch us do it.
Yeah, let it happen.
As the gank's gonna come down, General Denobi probably gonna be forced to burn Ragnarok here. Kind of half re-engages and doesn't commit for anything, so Tonka and Puffin gonna be able to get the kill, and unfortunately Wingman just channels that teleport way too late.
He wanted the wave. Oh,
Alright, Tonka just pretending he was gone. You know, object permanence just maybe isn't their strong suit on Rev this game. As the game is still 200 gold in favor of Rev, they've got 3 towers to 3 towers, 1 Drake to 1 Drake. Honestly, the better laning Drake in the ocean is gone, and we're approaching like level 14, 15 for top lane. We've got 14 for mid.
What's the soul
We're looking at the soul this game is not ocean. That's Hextech.
Yeah.
It's Hextech.
It's definitely not the most winning, so.
Yeah, Cloud is the highest win rate soul.
Right, Cloud Soul,
thank
baby.
you. Cloud Soul.
Thank you.
What is the worst one? The least winning? Is it Infernal still, or?
Chemtech?
Oh yeah, Chemtech. I forgot that one existed.
Exactly. Anywho's. Chat,
Baron
we
setup.
got ourselves some Baron setup coming out. What do we need to see from this Baron setup in order to secure it for either of these teams?
We need a ward on the Hex Gate. Oh no.
That would be a Zonia's coming out from Puffin. So
you missed
X's
Equalizer
going to be
too,
able to get.
unfortunately.
Oh, General Denobi, sorry. General Denobi's the one who gets the tower. And he might die for it now. Tonka going for the counter engage. He gets the counter kill onto Puffin before he goes down. General Denobi going to see how long he can survive just standing there and auto attacking the Udyr, but Udyr is strong enough to get the burn with the mask. And Manemi gonna burn his flash trying to get the W, and nothing's gonna come of it. Maybe if his flash was on F, he would have actually succeeded there. What? What's so funny?
Nothing.
Slash on D gamers. That's what's funny.
I'm a Flash on D gamer. What do you mean?
F is for flash.
F is for flash because it just makes sense. Yours is on the wrong key. Now keep in mind, they are still a tower up on the side of Rev, and they don't really realize it, but they are up gold. They're looking at 8,200 in a stable game state for the Jhin. Being at a stable game state around 2 items with Senna is actually just fine. Same with Janna here. Brand is going to be a damage dealer, but Brand is more gold dependent to be effective. So Janna's build is going to be much more valuable here. At the same time, Seraphine hitting exactly what she needs to dish out major damage and apply major assistance to Dino. I like the adaptation to go for the Staff of Flowing Water here. Because
I've never seen that. Like building both?
I mean, yeah, so Staff of Flowing Water is cool with the Gwen jungle because Gwungle is an AP champion, and Staff of Flowing Water gives AP to the person that they shield, right?
No, that I got. I just never seen both Leandries and Staff built together. I've seen mids play like the supportive pick, so they'll go like Rod with Staff. I haven't seen a Leandries. But I guess in this game with like
Yeah,
Udyr being
Rod of
in it,
Ages is a scaling item, right?
yeah.
I like Ardent Censer better than Staff of Overflowing Water here. Because you got Olaf, Gwen, Jhin. All of them are auto attack champions.
Yeah, but you
so
have
that's
the
part. They're
John.
both
You
legendaries.
don't need that.
They're legendaries and they stack, so por qué no los dos? As the fight comes out, Manemi gonna get deleted by Bachelor and Dino. The curtain call coming down, Tonka getting turned
Curve
down,
the bullet.
Tonka being forced to run away, but Dino is gonna be able to secure the kill with just one more Q. He actually misses! Granity X gets the stun to get away, and Bachelor and Wingman gonna try to force it down, going for the tower here. General Denobi being forced to run away from Puff and gonna go for the counter engage. Down goes the Stride Breaker, standing on top of the Equalizer. Gonna try to chase him down with the Undertow, but it's not quite gonna be enough. Puffin
missed it.
gets the turn with the Flame Splitter, and Dino getting this mid inhibitor, though, for the side of Rev. This is already a fight in their favor. If they can get the resets here, if they can get the tower into a reset, then they might be able to actually threaten Baron fairly easily here at this point, and that is another gold swing in favor of Rev.
I think he missed that last undertow.
He did.
Can I get a replay?
I don't do those. I'm not alls. Sorry.
Can I get a replay on the flag on the
I can
play?
press backspace. Is that
No,
you
flag
want
on
me
the
to press
play.
backspace?
Flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
Oh,
Anyways, we have the Encore coming down. Udyr does finally use the second proc of Ram stance. Puffin going to be able to survive a little bit longer. Sen ultimate coming out. Branded EX trying to run away, trying to wait on his cooldowns to get the stun. The ultimate comes down, gonna barely survive using the shield. The only Tonka lives a very long time, but eventually does go down. Dino trying to walk away, but is getting burned to death. Manami's looking really strong, gets the counter kill off, and this is 30 seconds before the dragon. SG Charm says, no, we will not go gently into the good night. We are here to play. We're not here to lose 3-0 in this very important best of 3 third place match. Best of 3. Third place, best of 5. Manami trying to run away from General Denobi, but he's going to be able to stick onto him very, very easily here. And the double kill coming down for General Denobi in response.
And just like that, swung back.
that whole segment was so funny because we saw Brand Senna being completely overpowered, taking over the fight, and then immediately after, they just get run down by Olaf.
I think Dino was also only able to get one of his needleworks through before he got CC layered. So I don't think he was able to use the other 2 parts of it. Or 3 parts? Can't remember if it's 3 or 4.
It's 3.
So I think he only got the first one, and the rest of them he was able to get through. Unfortunate. Probably could have swung the fight a little bit better in their favor. Also, everybody walking back into Brand passive. That was a little interesting.
Yeah. This is the big problem everyone talks about in IBS, and why Brand is so strong in these lower elos, because everyone just groups. That's the big fun of low elo.
That's why it doesn't work. That's why it
group
doesn't work
S5.
on us. My entire team likes to leave me behind.
All right, boys. To fill the space, talk a little bit about what you would be doing in this situation.
Crying, vomiting a little bit.
As SG or as Rev? Because
Both.
as
Play
Rev,
my Joker.
I'm taking the Baron.
Each of you advocate for one team.
All right. If I was on the side of SG, I would be calling my mid laner a bot because that's what I normally do anyways. But more importantly, I would kind of be focusing more on trying to stop the bleeding as much as I can. We have Brand, we have Senna, and even though Rumble doesn't like scale super hard, it does still scale because you can force them into a choke and then get great equalizer, burn everybody down a little bit. I'd be trying to get as much gold on Riven as possible so Riven can get a little bit stronger and actually able to split. Obviously, probably can't split into Olaf anymore, but maybe with a Hull Breaker, they can match and just kind of even it out. Just try to stall as much as possible, and then just try to not give up any more objectives more than I have to. So maybe one more Drake and that's fine, but stop it there. For SG.
Yeah. And Sword, you just watched yourselves get a trade of General Denobi going down here. You have the ability to close out with a numbers advantage. What are you doing here as Tonka gets caught?
Right now I cry because this shouldn't happen. But it looks like they're turning the fight somehow. Alright, well I just ended here. That's what I do. I call for the end.
Yeah, this looks to be an end angle. Dino trying to get the wave pushed out, but they do have this mid one. I finally see it, and they're going to start heading over towards the end angle. This could be putting them on an early 2-0 match point right now.
I don't think Granite even wants to stop them.
Yeah.
Granite understands that the game is probably over here, so we're going to go ahead and call that one it. We're done with game 2, and just like that, Rev are up 2-0 in this third place match.
Match point.
Match point is exactly right, Excel. Now, guys, talk a little bit about where you think the growing pains are for SG in this series so far, and what they need to do if they want to turn this into a series.
I think that SG needs to focus a little bit more on slowing things down in the early game. Both early games, we saw Buff and Die early, just from what I would say is just a little bit of a misplay on his part. Obviously, you're playing Cassidin into Pantheon. Maybe don't try to fight him. Just let him, take the waves, let him shove it in, get the experience. You can get the gold later. Just kind of like slow it down. In this game, he had what I would consider probably the winning matchup, but rather than I guess fighting appropriately, he was kind of pushing himself a little bit too much to try to make something happen when he really didn't need to. All he needed to do was kind of zone her away from the wave and start building up the lead little by little rather than worrying about trying to get solo kills. For the rest of the map, I think the bot lane is doing kind of great work. They just need to kind of figure out a way to incorporate Granite and Tonka a little bit more into that. Both games, Tonka's try to make plays topside instead of towards the bot side that they could play around. Even with like the Akshan and now with the Senna, both of those are going to scale pretty well. They're going to do a ton of damage if you just put a little bit of resources into them. As an Udyr into like Jhin Janna, you're not going to get a good gank off. You're not going to be able to really get kills, but you can relieve a lot of pressure and you can kind of scare them away from the wave long enough for Senna and Brand to just kind of build up their own lead. If they're able to set up the wave in a good spot, they can freeze and then just kind of bully Jhin and Janna out of away from it. That's what I think that they need to focus more on. So not really much in terms of picks, but more so in terms of a little bit more about where their focus is in the early to mid game. They also don't set up for objectives from what I'm seeing, and they don't really seem to value any of the early objectives for whatever reason, but maybe focus a little bit more towards on getting that Herald pretty much on spawn and then using that to kind of get as many places you can and open up the map.
Sure, for sure. And Sword, do you think any changes are going to have to be made in draft in order to stabilize this series, or do you think draft isn't a particularly huge point so far?
I think, I think something needs to be changed. The way Tonka is playing, I think he needs to be on a champion that doesn't need to run. I think he needs some dashes, some good CC, some ganking potential, because that's how he plays. And Udyr, you have ganking potential, but you don't have any way to get on the opponent. And he just wants to fight. In team fights, he goes for the backline. He's not trying to peel.
Just like that, we're actually getting word, unfortunately, very good analysis from both of you, but unfortunately, this is actually where we're going to call it. SG have decided to call it for a night, so it's going to be a 3-0 over to the side of Rev Armada tonight. Very well played from them, very well played from both these teams. They definitely gave us a show. It was, if anything, it was a really fun match to watch. What do you guys think?
I really liked game 1. Game 2, a little bit more standard, so more interesting from that aspect, but as a third place, a more exhibition match, I really like the game 1 innovation that they had, just kind of deciding, we're gonna throw everything we can think of at the wall and the kitchen sink, and just kind of fist fighting it out. So super happy about that. I think Rev, SG both did great, all split long. They were definitely contenders. Things that didn't turn out their way, but in another world, this would have been the finals, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like the game 2 more interesting picks. No one was really far ahead until really late when they ended, and yeah, it was back and forth a lot. You could see fights swing both ways. But I agree with Axel. Both these teams had potential to make finals, and it's just unfortunate that they didn't.
Absolutely. And Yeah, but thank you both for showing up and doing this little impromptu production with us over in BOL IBS. Hopefully, some of us get invited back by Bully and Pop-Tart in the future. I know they are a little nervous to have CV Queensguard take over the cast for tonight for the impromptu set.
I don't blame them.
The impromptu third place match. But thank you guys so much for giving us a show. Again, fantastic teams, awesome teams. We look forward to what Blue Water League has in store in the future. And if this IBS turns into like IBSG, we turn into gold, and then we have Plat, Emerald, whatever ends up happening, I hope to see a lot of these teams in the future because all of you guys have played incredibly well. It's been incredibly fun to play against you. It's been fun to coach against you. And it's been fun to take part in this community. So with that being said, guys, this has just been a little bit of a fun thing while the finals get rescheduled. Make sure you tune in on Monday at 8 p.m. EST as CB Queensguard take on TD crap,
Daggers.
which TD team is it?
Daggers.
TD Daggers. TD Daggers taking on CB Queensguard in the BOL IBS finals, the final IBS finals of the Blue Water League, guys. It's going to be a good one, and if you want to see CB excel and Sword troll it up and get carried by their jungler, then you know exactly where to be right here on Monday night. Thank you, and have a good one.